Hi there guys, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you see and want to see more. So the reason for the video today is in regards to the ongoings in the NRL Magic Weekend, as we're into day 2, and there has been a mandate during these 2 days about contact with head and neck being immediate yellow or red cards and put on report by the referee. Now, this has caused a lot of uproar with experts, fans and coaches alike. It is about player welfare and safety, and I'll talk about one instance where it's a bit of a mockery. So, what they're saying, the NRL's latest crackdown is pulling apart fans and experts alike after a stunning 8 players were sin-binned in 2 games on Friday nights at Suncorp Stadium. 4 players were binned in the Tigers versus Knights clash, and then another 4 against for Broncos and Manly to finish the night. The splurge of sin bins follows an NRL directive that officials will take harsher actions on high contact and also with repeated ruck infringements. Well, that part hasn't come into fruition yet. So, Michael Ennis told Fox League when Brisbane lost 2 players to the bin at the same time, it isn't the game that Corey Parker and I played. Parker was filthy at the double sin binning and the sudden crackdown. They're the people, the fans, that are missing out. The people are paying their hard-earned money to come and watch their stars play, and it's unable to happen, Parker said. The standards have been set. Speaking post-game, Greg Alexander and Gordon Tallis dived deeper into the issue. It ruins the spectacle. The game is the star, said Tallis of the crackdown following the Manly 50-6 winner over Brisbane. Accidents happen. Tyson Gamble's tackle was not a sin bin, and I've hit players harder on my. I've hit a Mozza harder than that on my leg. That's not a sin bin offence. He's talking about a mosquito when it lands on his leg. So, Alexander said that the NRL's crackdown was just simply a knee-jerk reaction to a couple of recent incidents. Jordan Pereira was not penalised sufficiently for a headshot on James Tedesco, and then Dylan Brown was not penalised at all for diving in with his knees into the back of Drew Hutchinson. The edict that was sent out is an overreaction because the bunker and referees have missed a couple of things over the last couple of weeks. All of a sudden, we need to be stronger on the high shots. Well, the Tyson Gamble one was not a sin bin offence, was it? It wasn't, said Greg Alexander. He continues, I don't want to see players off the field for an overreaction. We're putting players off the field when the game is quicker than it has been before. The game has never been faster, and we're moving players from the field in this faster game. Use common sense. Common sense can be used. I don't think what we saw tonight was common sense, said Alexander, finishing. Tallis was asked by Fox League host Yvonne Sampson, is this rugby league? Is this the game that you love? Tallis simply replied, it's the game that I love, but it's a version I'm not liking at the moment. The game is tough, and we know that we've got to clean it up. But it's Magic Round. We want people here. It's the cleanest the game has ever been. NRL is different to junior rugby, and we're jumping at shadows. to follow on from that, never to shrink away from any sort of discussion when it involves rugby league, including when it involves his team. When Wayne Bennett has fiercely defended this NRL stat crackdown on contact with the head, but concedes he's worried that the game could quickly lose fans through the increased stoppages it's caused on the field. The NRL passed the directive to coaches in the lead up to the Magic Weekend that was pioneered by the ARL commission boss Peter Vandis, vowing to send players from the field in reaction to any head or neck region tackles. Now, it has seen a number of sin-bins and sending offs take the focus off rugby showpiece weekends, with fans, coaches and players, as I mentioned, both former and current players, are taking aim at the southern clampdown. While several of the coaching counterparts have lambasted the change, Bennett applauded the intensified scrutiny of contact with the head and neck. However, the Rabbitohs coach has conceded that the game was getting confused with the way the attention of foul play on the field has disrupted the game's flow. I'm worried about it. We're getting confused. We're talking about a fast, open game, and that's not what we're doing, he said. I've been on this for so long about the head stuff. I'm totally supportive of that, but I'm not supportive of a game that can go on a whole minute after a dangerous tackle penalty and come back and we all stop the game and go through the video and put someone on a report and give a penalty. If the referee doesn't see it, just get on with it. Who's refereeing the game now? Is it the bunker? The bunker is there for support of the referees, but if the referee hasn't seen it or penalised it, they can pick it up tomorrow and they can charge the players tomorrow. They got all those right. You've got to understand that the game relies on momentum for the game to be attractive. It needs the momentum in it, and every time you stop the game and you break the momentum, it's simple. He's right in everything that he's saying. They want faster playing games, and that's what's bringing the viewers back, and also fans in the stand. It's bringing fans in Australia from rugby union to rugby league because the play is continuous. And I'm waiting for the NRL to come along, because if Americans get on the back of it, they'll enjoy it. I'll keep saying, because it's been described that way, it's like 2-minute warning in NFL for the full 80. What more could you want from a game? Anyway, so Wayne Barrett continues. That's the thing about the Captain's Challenge. There's a lot of things I like about the Captain's Challenge, but it stops the game. We're not going to have a fast, free-flowing game if we miss the moment. We've let another 4 or 5 tackles go, and then we stop the game and walk back to the point, get a penalty, and we're starting all over again. They're not going to have the game they want to entertain the fans with. It's another showpiece, another piece of the game that comes with the bunker, which comes with the Captain's Challenge, which stops the whole game. I'm frustrated because they're changing a whole lot of rules to get this fast-paced game, but they put a whole lot of other stuff in that prevents that from happening. It's right. Seriously, it's right. I haven't got an example for that, but you can think of them yourself, where there's been an incident and the bunker's gone, oh, you need to go back and look at that. Like what's going on in football as well. The same thing happens. Oh, you need to go back at that. You've gone up the other end and scored. Wait a second. We might have to call it. We might have to say no goal because it might be a free kick back up there. The referee doesn't see it play on. Put it on report and review it in the future. then the referees get the scrutiny and the training that they need if they're missing stuff. Anyway, you don't want scrutiny on the referees, it's respect the referees, which is beyond it's what we need to do no matter what sport it is, because we can't play the game without them. But we've got to treat them as humans. If they don't think it's a foul and the bunker calls it back, they're all supposed to support, not when the referee asks questions, not to review it straight on. And I will go on about the bunker all the time, because the way that the NRL have got the bunker, review it after they give the try, makes no sense for the players on the field or the people in the stands. Yes, in NRL even, they have the mics up to the rest of the stands, but if you're going to look at something, stop the game. Because if you've got it wrong and you have to call it back, you have to go back anyhow. Just review it before you give the decision. That way it seems cleaner, and it seems that you're up with the flow. You're making sure. Anyway, that's the rant about referees gone. Let's go back to the rules and how they're being implemented. So, a report in the Daily Telegraph's Australia claimed Bennett said wants Vardis to stay the course in the face of heavy backlash from the fans this weekend towards heavier scrutiny on head contact and sin binnings. But the 7-time Premiership winner warns the NRL of tarnishing the product with the rules being how they've been handled on the field. Again, he says, I've been fighting for it for years. I don't believe we should make any contact with the head at all, he says. If we do, then there's got to be an outcome. But if the referee misses it and doesn't penalise it, the beauty of the system is that it can be changed the following. We can charge them the following day. I'm a fan of the sin bin only if they have a HIA and they go off the field. Then I'm a fan of the sin bin. But some of the incidents last night and even tonight, no one really gets concussed as a result of it. So the penalty is fine. Get on with it. The judiciary can look at it tomorrow and lay the charges. Earlier on the Saturday night, Raiders coach Ricky Stewart conceded after his side's win over Canterbury in the NRL was giving other sports a leg up when referring to the debate the mass sin binnings have caused. His opposition coach Trent Barrett, meanwhile, labelled the penalties given out for head contact this weekend a lottery, admitting to fears of the game was quickly evolving into Oztag. Tag rugby, basically. Bennett, though, said the NRL was on the right path towards completely stamping out dangerous contacts with the head, as other rival codes have done in recent years. Aussie Football League won't accept it. If you touch anybody above the shoulders, you're in huge trouble. Rugby Union has a huge change 2 years ago, where anything above the shoulders, you're probably in the sin bin, and you're probably doing 2 to 3 weeks suspension. When are we going to get the message in our game? When we get liable cases against us in the next 10 years, case after case, because the game did nothing about reducing the number of head knocks, it's a poor excuse. We've got to come to the reality of the situation. So Peter Vardis is at the point, and he's 100% right. It's a bold statement by Bennett at the end. Yes, the player welfare is essential, and it is a car crash sport, hours. But there's some incidents that I've actually seen myself. I'll give you one example. The players the player with the ball, James Tedesco, is falling down into the tackle, and his head comes into contact with the player's armpit. He looks at the referee. He said, "Head." He looked at the referee and said, "Head." It's head contact. He's already put it in the thought of the referee. I know that he shouldn't be refereeing the game like that, but it's head contact. Okay. So with that, they do a 2-minute assessment with the player with the head contact, where they have to go off the field and come back on in those 2 minutes. The rule isn't clear when the 2 minutes starts and when the assessment is being taken. Tedesco ran off the field after his assessment and ran straight back on. That makes no sense to me. If it's a head contact and he's really that bothered, he should go out and go and sit down for 10-15 minutes. All HIA assessments, if you can move the player, i.e. they're stood up, not on their haunches, anything from kneeling all the way to standing up, they should be taken off the field, and then the HIA assessment, whether it's the 2-minute or the longer full assessment, should be off the pitch. That's one way to quicken up the game. If the referee haven't seen it, then let it go. Bunker, you can look at it the next day, like Wayne Bennett has said. It's clear as day. Yes, there should be some more stricter rules for contact above the shoulders, but we can't call everything. Put it on report and go back, like that sin binning tonight in the that I've described to you involving James Tedesco in the Roosters versus Cowboys game. It's one of the softest things I ever see. He came back on when there was a crowd of booing going on, and he laughed. James Tedesco laughed because he knows that the boos are focused on him, but also mainly focused on these new rules. It's spoiling the game. He doesn't care. He's got the penalty and he's winning the game for his team. That's the end all of end all. If they're premiers at the end of it, they don't care. They're using the rules that are in play now. Anyway, that's my rant. So that's it for another video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember the race to 100 is still going on. As soon as we reach that 100 target, I will choose 10 people that will get Held Dominance t-shirts. Something free for you. Anyway, I'll say all the best, and I'll see you in the next video.